The world stopped spinning the moment Ethan's voice cut through the humid Virginia night. Sharp as a blade, but soft as a whisper. Show me, Alex. If I like it, you're mine. His words hung in the air, reckless and raw, like a match struck too close to gasoline. And I stood frozen, my heart pounding so loud I swore the stars above could hear it. We were 17, sprawled on the roof of Ethan's old Chevy pickup, parked at the edge of Willow Creek's abandoned quarry. The summer air clung to our skin, thick with the scent of pine and the distant hum of cicadas. Ethan and I had been inseparable since we were 6. 2 kids chasing fireflies and secrets in this sleepy town where everyone knew your name but never your truth. He was the golden boy broad shoulders, easy grin, the kind of guy who could charm the whole football team and still cry at Pixar movies. I was the quiet one, always hiding behind my sketchbook, my body a puzzle I'd spent years trying to solve alone. I was intersex, born with traits that didn't fit the neat boxes of male or female. I'd known since I was 12, when a doctor's visit turned my world upside down. Ambiguous genitalia, they called it, like my body was some cryptic riddle. My parents, God bless them, tried to understand, but in a town like Willow Creek, where church bells rang louder than reason, I learned to keep it locked away. No one knew, not even Ethan, my best friend, my almost brother, the one person I trusted with every other piece of me. Until tonight. It started innocently enough. We'd been drinking stolen beers from his dad's fridge. The kind of reckless teenage night where you feel invincible. I'd let my guard down, laughing too hard, talking too much. And when Ethan asked why I never dated, why I dodged locker room talk or shied away from the pool, I blurted it out. I'm not like other guys, Ethan. I'm intersex. The words slipped out before I could stop them, raw and jagged, and I braced for the fallout. He didn't flinch, didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned closer, his hazel eyes glinting under the moonlight, and said those words that turned my world inside out. Show me. If I like it, you're mine. It wasn't a question, it was a challenge. A promise. A spark that could burn us both. Ethan, you don't know what you're saying. I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. My hands shook as I clutched the edge of the truck's roof, the metal cool against my palms. I'm not some experiment. I'm not experimenting, he said, his voice steady, almost defiant. I've known you forever. Alex, you think this changes anything? You think I'd care? He shifted closer, his knee brushing mine, and I felt the air between us crackle. You're still you. And I've been trying to figure out how to tell you I've been in love with you since we were 14. My breath caught, a sharp ache blooming in my chest. Love. The word felt too big, too dangerous, like it could unravel everything I'd built to protect myself. Ethan didn't know what he was asking. He didn't know the years I'd spent wrestling with shame, the late-night Google searches, the panic attacks in bathroom stalls, terrified someone would find out. But his eyes held no judgment, only a fierce, stubborn certainty that made my defenses waver. Ethan, this isn't a game, I said, my voice cracking. If people find out, if this town finds out, it's over for me. For us. Then let's not tell them, he said simply, like it was the easiest thing in the world. Let it be ours. Just you and me. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. But Willow Creek wasn't kind to secrets like ours. This was the kind of place where different was a dirty word. Where the church preached love but practiced judgment. Where kids like us could be heroes on Friday night and outcasts by Sunday morning. I'd seen what happened to Jamie Carter, the only openly gay kid in our class, who left town after his locker was vandalized and his tires slashed. Ethan might have been fearless, but I wasn't. Not yet. Give me time, I said finally, my voice barely audible. I need to think. He nodded, his hand brushing mine for the briefest moment. Warm and steady. Take all the time you need. Alex. I'm not going anywhere. The next few weeks were a blur of stolen glances and unspoken questions. School started again. Senior year. And the hallways of Willow Creek High buzzed with the usual chaos cheerleaders planning homecoming. Football players strutting like kings. Teachers pretending they could control it all. Ethan and I fell back into our rhythm. But it was different now. Every laugh, every touch, every moment we spent together felt charged. Like a storm waiting to break. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. The way Ethan's eyes lingered on me when he thought I wasn't looking. The way he'd find excuses to sit closer. His shoulder brushing mine during lunch or his hand grazing my arm when he passed me a pencil. It was thrilling and terrifying. Like standing on the edge of a cliff. Knowing one step could change everything. But the secret weighed heavier now. I'd spent years hiding who I was. Crafting a version of Alex that fit Willow Creek's narrow mold. I wore baggy clothes, avoided mirrors, and dodged any situation that might expose me. Ethan's words mine echoed in my head, both a lifeline and a threat. What if he changed his mind? What if he saw me, really saw me, and decided it was too much? What if I let myself love him back and it cost me everything? One night, we ended up at the quarry again. Just the two of us. The air was cooler now. September creeping in. And the stars seemed brighter. Sharper. Like they were watching us. Ethan had brought a blanket. And we lay side by side. Our shoulders touching. The silence heavy with everything we hadn't said. Do you ever think about leaving? I asked, staring up at the sky. Just getting out of here. All the time, he said softly. But not without you. I turned to look at him, my heart racing. His face was so close, his breath warm against my cheek. Ethan, what are we doing? It's not simple. Not for me. I know, he said, his voice low, earnest. But I meant what I said. Alex, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care about the town, or the church, or any of it. I care about you. I wanted to kiss him. The urge was so strong it scared me, like a current pulling me under. But before I could move, headlights flashed across the quarry, and a car engine roared in the distance. We sat up, tense, as a group of voices echoed loud. Drunk. Familiar. It was Tyler Brooks and his crew. The kind of guys who'd make your life hell for looking at them wrong. Shit. Ethan muttered, grabbing the blanket. We gotta go. We scrambled off the truck and ducked into the woods. Hearts pounding. Tyler's voice carried, slurred and mocking, as he and his friends stumbled toward the quarry. Yo. Who's out here? Better not be those fags from school. My stomach dropped. Ethan's hand found mine in the dark, squeezing tight. And we ran, branches snapping under our feet. We didn't stop until we reached the edge of town, breathless and shaking, the weight of what could have happened settling like lead in my chest. They didn't see us, Ethan said, his voice steady but his eyes fierce. They don't know. Alex. They won't. But I wasn't so sure. In Willow Creek, secrets had a way of getting out. The weeks that followed felt like walking on a tightrope. Ethan and I were careful. Too careful. Avoiding the quarry. Sticking to crowded places where no one would notice how close we stood or how our eyes lingered too long. But the tension between us grew. A quiet fire that burned hotter every day. I was falling for him, and it terrified me. Every touch, every whispered word, made me want to believe we could have something real. Something worth fighting for. But Willow Creek was a minefield, and I couldn't shake the fear that one wrong step would blow it all apart. School was its own kind of battlefield. Tyler Brooks and his crew hadn't forgotten the night at the quarry. And though they didn't know it was us, they'd been on edge, throwing around slurs and picking fights with anyone who didn't fit their idea of normal. I kept my head down, my sketchbook clutched like a shield. But Ethan was bolder. He'd glare at Tyler across the cafeteria, his jaw tight, like he was daring him to start something. I wanted to tell him to stop, to keep himself safe. But part of me loved how fearless he was, how he'd stand up for me without a second thought. One afternoon, during art class, I was working on a charcoal sketch of the quarry, the place where everything had changed. Ethan leaned over, his breath warm against my ear, and whispered, "That's us, isn't it? You and me, under the stars." I flushed, my pencil slipping. "Shut up," I muttered, but my heart was racing. He grinned. That stupid, perfect grin. And for a moment, I forgot where we were. Forgot the world outside our bubble. That's when it happened. Ms. Harper, our art teacher, had stepped out, and Tyler, who'd been lounging at the back of the room, sauntered over. "What's this?" "Alex. Drawing your boyfriend." He snatched my sketchbook before I could stop him, holding it up for his friends to see. The quarry sketch was rough, but it was unmistakably intimate. Two figures. Close. Under a starry sky. "Give it back," I said, my voice low, trembling with anger and fear. Tyler smirked, flipping through the pages. "What's the matter? Freak. Got something to hide?" His eyes narrowed, like he was looking for a weak spot, and I felt my secret burning under my skin, threatening to spill out. Ethan was on his feet in an instant, stepping between us. "Back off, Tyler," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "You don't want this fight." "Oh, I think I do," Tyler said, shoving Ethan hard. The room went quiet, everyone watching, waiting for blood. I grabbed Ethan's arm, pulling him back, my heart pounding so loud I thought it had burst. "Stop," I whispered, desperate. "He's not worth it." Ethan's eyes met mine, fierce and protective, but he nodded, stepping back. Tyler laughed, tossing my sketchbook onto the table with a thud. "Fucking weirdos," he muttered, walking away. That night, I couldn't sleep. The close call with Tyler had rattled me, and I kept replaying Ethan's words from the quarry mine. I wanted to be his, more than anything. But the weight of my secret, of who I was, felt like a wall between us. What if he saw a meal of me and it wasn't enough? What if I let him in and he left? I texted him at 2 a.m. My hand shaking. Meet me at the park. Please. He was there in 10 minutes. His hair mussed. Wearing the same hoodie he'd had since freshman year. The park was empty. The swings creaking in the breeze. And we sat on the grass. The moonlight casting shadows across his face. I'm scared. Ethan. I admitted. My voice barely above a whisper. I want phthisis, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to be me. He reached for my hand, his fingers lacing through mine. You don't have to have it all figured out. Alex. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. But what if you change your mind? I asked, my voice breaking. What if you see me? Really see me? And it's too much. He shook his head, his eyes fierce. I already see you. I've always seen you. And I love every part of you. Alex. Every single part. I kissed him then, under the stars, my heart pounding so hard I thought it'd break. His lips were soft, warm, and for the first time, I felt like I could breathe. Like I could be me. All of me. And it might be enough. But the world wasn't done with us. The next day, a rumor started circling school someone had seen us at the park. Too close. Too obvious. By lunch, whispers followed us everywhere. And Tyler's crew was louder than ever, their slurs cutting deeper. Ethan Carey held my hand in the hallway, defiant, daring anyone to say something. But I could feel the eyes on us, the judgment, the weight of a town that wasn't ready for us. That night, someone spray-painted fags across Ethan's truck. He laughed it off, said it was just paint. But I saw the hurt in his eyes, the crack in his fearless facade. I wanted to protect him, to keep him safe, but I didn't know how. All I knew was that I loved him, and that love was starting to feel like a target on our backs. The weeks after the vandalism were a storm we couldn't outrun. Willow Creek turned on us, its judgment swift and merciless. The rumors grew. Wilder people didn't just think we were together. They were digging, whispering about me, about why I was different. Someone had overheard my parents talking to a doctor years ago, and the word intersex started floating around, twisted into something ugly, something to mock. I felt exposed, like my skin had been peeled back for the world to judge. Ethan refused to back down. He'd walk me to class, his arm around my shoulders, his chin high like he was daring the world to take a swing. But I could see the toll it was taking. The way his smile didn't reach his eyes, the way he'd clench his fists when Tyler's crew passed by. I wanted to be brave like him, but fear was a constant weight, pressing down until I could barely breathe. One night, it all came to a head. We were at a bonfire party on the edge of town, the kind of thing everyone went to because there was nothing else to do. Ethan had convinced me to go, said we couldn't let them win, but I regretted it the moment we arrived. Tyler and his friends were there, drunk and loud, and when they saw us, their eyes lit up like predators spotting prey. Well, look who it is. Tyler slurred, stepping closer. The freaks of Willow Creek. Walk away. Tyler. Ethan said, his voice low. Dangerous. I grabbed his arm, my heart racing, but he didn't budge. Tyler laughed, his friends circling like vultures. What's the deal? Alex. You a boy or a girl? Or some kind of mutant? The crowd went quiet. Everyone watching, waiting for me to break. I froze, my throat tight. But Ethan stepped forward. His fists clenched. Say it again. He growled. I dare you. It happened fast. Tyler swung. Ethan ducked. And then they were on the ground. Fists flying. I screamed for them to stop. But no one listened. The crowd cheered. Phones out. Recording every second. I tried to pull Ethan back. But someone shoved me. And I hit the ground hard. My sketchbook spilling out of my bag. When it was over, Ethan was bleeding. His lip split. But Tyler looked worse. The crowd scattered as sirens wailed in the distance. And Ethan grabbed my hand, pulling me toward his truck. We drove in silence, the weight of what had happened settling between us like a third passenger. I'm sorry, he said finally, his voice hoarse. I couldn't let him talk about you like that. I know, I said, my voice shaking. But this isn't worth it. Ethan, you're getting hurt because of me. No, he said fiercely, pulling over to the side of the road. I'm fighting for us. For you. Don't you get it? Alex, I love you. I don't care what they say, what they do. I love you. Tears stung my eyes as I looked at him. His face bruised, but his eyes burning with that same stubborn certainty. I love you too, I whispered, the words feeling like a release, like a weight lifting. But I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. We'll figure it out, he said, reaching for my hand. Together. The next day, we made a plan. We couldn't stay in Willow Creek not like this. College was a year away. But we could save up. Get jobs. Leave this town behind. It wouldn't be easy. But for the first time, I felt like it was possible. Like we could build a life where we didn't have to hide. We started small working weekends at the local diner, saving every penny. Ethan's parents were supportive, even if they didn't fully understand. And mine, though hesitant, promised to help however they could. The town didn't change, but we did. We stopped caring about the whispers, the stares. We held hands in public, kissed under the stars. And every time, it felt like a small victory. One night, as we sat on the roof of Ethan's truck, the quarry stretched out before us. I told him everything. About the doctor's visits, the surgeries I'd been offered but refused, the way I'd learned to love my body, piece by piece. He listened, his hand in mine, and when I was done, he kissed me, soft and slow, like he was promising to carry it all with me. You're perfect, he said, his voice steady. Exactly as you are. And for the first time, I believed him. A year later, we left Willow Creek behind. We moved to a small apartment in Richmond, where no one knew our names or our secrets. Ethan got a job at a mechanic shop, and I started art school, my sketches filling with color, with life. We weren't free of struggle. Money was tight, and the world wasn't always kind, but we had each other. And that was enough. One evening, as we sat on our tiny balcony, watching the city lights, Ethan pulled me close. You're mine, he said, echoing those words from that first night. But this time, they felt like a vow. And you're mine, I said, smiling, my heart full. We'd fought for this through fear, through pain, through a town that tried to break us. And in the end, we'd won. Not just love, but the freedom to be ourselves. Together. Unapologetically. In a world that demanded we fit its boxes. We built our own. And it was more beautiful than I'd ever dreamed.